and then they switched something. So,
Yep.
oh, we are live. We
Hi,
are
everybody. So while you're pushing all your buttons, so
the button pusher.
we're having this cold snap across the U.S. of A., probably
Mhm.
all around the world. And of course, St. Louis, it wasn't as bad as they predicted it was going to be. They said we're going to get like 12 to 14 inches, and I think we got like 4.
Okay.
Which I don't mean to sound that way, but I'm from upstate New York, like the kind of weather Janine lives in. So we're like,
Not
amateur.
that big a deal. Right.
Yeah, we could still see houses when we went down the street. Yeah. However, I had my little grandchildren overnight Friday night, the 2 little ones, 2 and 3. And when we woke up in the morning, it was 59 degrees in
Oh
here.
my
And my
God.
furnace had gone out during the night. Now, I thought it was probably something I did because they
Yeah.
have these hijinks like thermometer things down. I'm like, I bet I pushed something. But no, and my kids came over, my daughter and her husband, and they figured it out from YouTube of all places.
Well,
So my furnace
that's,
is fixed and I will never take heat for granted again.
I'm
So I'm
I'm
just
happy
killing
they
time
were
here
able to
telling you
fix
guys so
it.
you'll feel sorry for me. Perhaps you'll join our team because, I'm in such a state. But the worst part was going into the shower. Just
What did it
knowing
get
I had
down
to
to?
take my coat
50-something?
off and
That's cold.
everything and jump in there. Once I was under the hot water, the second hardest thing was getting out of the shower. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
we take those things for
oh
granted,
my gosh.
and we shouldn't. And we shouldn't. We had a similar situation here last week. Woke up in the morning and it was like it's cold in here and it's not supposed to be. As you know, we own a plumbing and heating business, so we're right there. We know what to do. We're our fingers on the pulse.
Oh my God, I could have
So
used you guys. Yeah.
I go downstairs and I'm like putzing around. I go down to the furnace and whatnot. I'm thinking, I don't know what I'm looking at, So I just said to my husband, I'm like, is it possible that the batteries are bad on the thermometer? And he's like, yeah, it is. And that's what it was. The battery went out on the thermometer, like your regular thermostat.
Yeah.
Battery went out on that and it shuts the heat down because it doesn't call for heat. And that was our so we were an easy fix. I was really grateful
You
for
were
that.
an easy fix.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm learning
easy
so
fix.
much.
But
But
yeah, it hasn't been in double digit numbers here for 2 weeks. It's very cold in the east
yeah,
right now. Very cold.
that's how
I'm
I
very
think it was 9
uncomfortable.
degrees here.
Mhm.
I had no
Yeah,
heat.
I don't care for that. I realize now how much I really don't like the cold. Drop in the comments. You're all hopping in right now. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome, everyone. Drop in the comments and let us know what part of what's the temperature in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, what the heck? Yeah.
Let's
Well, I
talk
was
like
doing a show and some people joined us via Zoom, and one lived in Florida and it was going to be 33 there. So
I was
it
gonna
was
say
like
that.
just big problem.
I was talking to my one customer, Margie, who you know,
Yeah.
and she said this is like unprecedented. It's only 32 degrees in Florida, and she's lived there like 30 years. Just so strange. So we're getting all kinds of people that are hopping on here. Hello, everyone. Welcome so much. Thank you so much for hopping in tonight. This is our Monday night free jewelry call. And what does
Yes.
that mean? That means that anybody on this call tonight who listens to our talk about what we do with Park Lane Jewelry and fills out a very simple Google form gets entered into a drawing to win free jewelry. And my gal pal to my immediate right is our executive company vice president, Mary Grace Lewandowski. And she has taught us all to be very giving with our jewelry. She's extremely gifting. You really are. You've taught us all to do that. You've taught us a really quick story. And I just want you to know this. This is how we are as stylists. Today, I got a call from somebody who did a show back in November. A gal at that show got an impression bracelet in iridescent coral. Her
Yeah.
mother-in-law liked it so much, she let her mother-in-law wear it to an event. Her
Oh,
mother-in-law passed. Okay. She unexpectedly passed.
at the event with the bracelet on?
No, a
Oh.
couple days after. But the mother-in-law now liked it so much she can't take it back from her. They're actually going to bury her in it. So I
Oh.
sent this. I went right to my jewelry, found another iridescent coral impression, and it's already in the mail to this girl
Oh, here's the,
because
you know what? If you didn't, I would. That's
you would though,
amazing.
right? That's what we do,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
the girl on the phone with me that was just calling to tell me the story was like, "You're serious?" I said, "I'm exactly serious. Yes." I had a sympathy card in my, we have them in our desk, for goodness sake. We all have them. And I wrote it out while we were talking. I'm like, "Thank you so much for sharing that." And I come from an organization that's very giving, and we want her to be happy and we want her to have her bracelet back. So let me go ahead and send that. So, I mean, that's because of you. You've taught us
Oh.
that. You've taught us to be giving, and you're giving on these calls, and you've been giving on these calls for over a year. And I think they're fantastic. And Monday nights are one of my
Wow.
favorite nights of the week because we get to talk about something that we truly believe in here. And that is Park Lane Jewelry, and that is direct sales, and that is what we do for a living. And if you were invited on this call, take it as a very big positive because the
Compliment.
stylist who invited you thought that much of you,
Hmm.
to have you become part of our group, part of our organization, to have you be blessed the way that we are. So thank you so much to all of you for hopping on. I didn't tell that story for you to say nice things about me, but boy, is that adorable. Thank you so much, everybody, for what you're saying. I'm just telling you that's how Mary Grace leads, and she's taught us to do the same
Yeah,
thing.
really, you should be saying I'm adorable.
You are adorable. You're very good to our people,
Why
very
can
good
we
to the
make this
people on
about
this call.
Janine?
Very good to the right. It's not about me. Very good to the people on this call, and you're very good to our organization. And if you become
No.
part of this organization, ladies and gentlemen, with you guys listening, you're never going to look back and think you did the wrong thing. That's how good it is here. So,
Aw.
hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I just dropped the direct sales word already, which, I try to do that always in the beginning, and it always seems to come out very easily. So, I'm going to start with our first question because we have 30 people watching, which is fantastic. Go ahead and click that share button if you're watching this on our business page on Grace and Grit business page. We'd love for you to share it with your friends and family. So click that share button. We'll do an extra drawing if a bunch of people share. But what I'd like to do is ask you the first question. And I'd like to kind of ask you it in a way that I want you to just explain to everybody that's watching, what exactly is direct sales and how does it differ from this term that we hear all the time, which is MLM or multi-level marketing?
I love that question. So yeah, and I've always really like honest about how I always felt or do feel because I know that I'm so average and so normal with the way that I think. And when I went to a show, I checked a little box on a piece of paper that said I wanted information about the job. And I'm just always curious about other things. I'm like, saying yes to the information isn't saying yes to the job, and
Right.
I want to make sure you guys realize that too. But I think if she'd said, "Oh, we're direct sales," I might have very ignorantly just said, "Oh," because I would misunderstand. And, that's when people say things like, "Oh, is that one of those pyramid things or whatever?" Okay, for first of all, from what I understand, a pyramid thing is completely illegal and we're legal. Okay, so we're in what they call direct sales. It means direct to consumer. We represent a physical product and we serve as a liaison between the company and the customer, which is a very popular place to be right now. We are self employed, so we get all of the benefits of somebody who's self employed, which I didn't realize there were so many, but I've learned since, and I'm not going to share all of them with you because it would make you dizzy. But you guys, it is like one of the smartest things to do for taxes and stuff
Oh,
is to
yeah.
open your own business because things that yesterday were an expense today would become a tax write off. Like,
Right.
any of your jewelry or your phone, all that. So for people of my age, especially when we're in retirement age, when people say, "Oh, I'm retired," it's a really smart thing to have a little side gig so you can have some tax write offs. And for some reason, that's one. I don't mean to be stereotypical, but men particularly, like if you think they'll go, "Don't do that," they're like, "Ooh, what a good idea," So it is a really good idea. Now, multi-level marketing, their emphasis is more on they work more behind the scenes on a computer, transitioning as many customers to reps as they can. And
Right.
they're keeping track of the multi levels that they've started in their business. And all of it determines how they get paid. And I'm sure I just simplified it. But basically, with direct sales, which is what we do, it's a direct to consumer, and we have a party plan. We actually have a plan where the hostess who shares us with her, I'm sorry, relatives and friends and stuff, that we reward her in free product. And in our particular case, Park Lane has that as part of their program. They pay for all that product. In a nutshell, if I could just my life with direct sales for the last almost 30 years, it's all of the benefits of running your own business,
Hmm.
like the flexibility and
Yeah.
the ownership and all that, but none of the headaches.
No.
You don't have to keep inventory, you don't have to worry about expenses, you don't have to um, worry about rent and stuff. So it's a wonderful, and I truly do believe, I really do believe that everyone should try it
Yeah.
because at least find out if it's for you. You may
Yeah.
not like it, but it's worth trying. And the worst thing that can happen is you don't like it. And then we ask you to please keep all the money you made. Please keep all the jewelry you got. Please keep all the fun little perks that you learned along the way or whatever. And just be our customer because we're
Hmm.
thrilled. So that's
I
the
love
long and
that.
short of it.
I love that. Why
Mhm.
jewelry, Mary Grace? Where does jewelry fit into direct
Yeah,
sales?
so direct sales comes in many different forms. There's a lot of different commodities sold through direct sales because it's
Hmm.
such a successful it's a successful way to show a product. But why jewelry? And the first time when I said I checked yes on a slip that I wanted information, that was many, many years ago, over 20 years ago, and it was candles.
Yep.
And I'll just go ahead and share that Janine did baskets. So you can probably
Yep.
guess which companies we were both with. We would both agree that we kind of fell into them, which is usually what happens. I saw that, oh, there's a job opportunity. I'll look into it. She was like, oh, I love this stuff. I'm a collector. I'll look into it. And then we dedicated many years to those companies. We weren't looking for anything else, but our companies um, went out of business or had troubles, and we saw it coming. By then, we had been with our companies over 10 years each, and we were savvy enough to know jewelry was the place to be. And
Yep.
then we specifically went looking for jewelry companies. And I'm going to
Yep.
tell you why jewelry is the place to be. Okay. So just think about the market. It really,
Mhm.
guys, it's basically everybody, it's every demographic. It's not just a certain niche of people, right? So
Right.
that's big. It's not a fad. Jewelry has been
Mhm.
around 150,000 years for since the first saber-toothed tiger necklace. If that was a thing. Someone's going to say, Mary Grace, humans weren't alive when saber-toothed tigers were, but whatever. Somehow we got one of the teeth. Well, Wilma did. Anyway, it's been around since then, and it's not going anywhere. As a matter of fact, the forecasts are something like $43 billion is going to be spent on jewelry in the next. Oh my gosh, it's just unbelievable. I'm glad to be
Insane.
part of it.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of different reasons when you look at your market why you want to do it. One of the number one gifts in the world, candy, flowers, jewelry. It's a gift that has a whole bunch of meaning too. But it's also something, and I'm quite proud of this. There's a statistic that and I'm not going to be able to tell you the time or the years, but I will tell you that for a very long time, most jewelry was purchased by men. And then women realized we're powerful enough, we can get this for ourselves, and I absolutely love that. So it's just gone up, up, up. But when you're running a jewelry business too, or any business, one of the things that you worry about is getting the word out there, right?
Right.
How wonderful is it that our product is walking around on us? I've got my beautiful Zoe on today. So our
Gorgeous.
product is walking around the world on us and on our customers. So when people say, "Oh my gosh, I love your necklace, I love your bracelet, blah blah blah, where did you get it?" Those are referrals right back to us, and that is so awesome. We did
Right.
not have that with candles or baskets unless somebody was
No.
actually in somebody's home and saw it, right? With
Yeah.
us, it's everywhere, every
Very
day.
true.
So that's huge. Should now Park Lane does all of our shipping direct to customers unless we choose to do it, but
Right.
it's very inexpensive to ship in store. I don't have to have a special room. I have like a box of my extra jewelry here, and I have like a bag the size of a purse, like a tote, that I have all my other jewelry in. And I honestly, I had to get like my hip replaced from lifting what I used to have to
You
bring.
always say that, and I do believe you on that.
I did. I had a hip replacement, and they said, "Did you have some kind of traumatic injury?" And I think it was that suitcase that I used to put into the back of the car every single night, and it took up a lot of our house. We had a whole garage, like
Yeah.
just dedicated to candles and candle holders, and here it doesn't take up that much of my life. So, in the Levine family, when they started Park Lane in 1955, they hired consultants to recommend what product they should
Yeah,
do.
I love
And all
this.
three consultant companies that they hired all three of them came back with jewelry as number one,
That's
and it changed the direction of what they were going to do because they didn't know, and they were like, oh, like they thought it was going to be a home product. So all of the reasons I just said is what the consulting companies said too. So I love it. It's perfect, and I knew I wanted jewelry this time, and that's why went on the lookout for jewelry companies when I came into direct sales, after my foray with my other company.
And I don't know if you guys and gals heard this, but Mary Grace said it. Park Lane's been around since 1955.
70
They've
years.
been 71 we're going on now. 71. Isn't
Mm-hmm.
that
Oh,
insane? So
you're right.
71 years. And you sit back and you think about that for a moment and think about the fact that their trajectory literally went like this. Every one of those years, go back to 1955 in your brain and think of all the different things that this company has lived through and where we are today. We got to live through COVID. That was amazing what Park Lane did. So
Hmm.
it's a really a powerful, I think that's, to me, that's a powerful thing that we've been around
Hmm.
that long and we're still thriving. I feel like it's just the place to be and it's only going to get better. Um, why is Park Lane like the jewelry company? First of all, I you have to share with them, you have to share with them that how we came into this company,
Yes. And
please.
honestly, like I wasn't very savvy at this type of business when I first started it. I'm going
Mm,
to assume most of the people that are interested in information don't know a whole bunch about direct sales. But once I did and was very educated in it, then I did know that jewelry was the place to be if I wanted additional customers, to be able to set made my life a little bit easier. And then as far as Park Lane, well, first of all, Park Lane is the only company, direct sales company, that works like a normal company, seriously, where they will recognize your experience.
yep,
Like if you have experience, like if you worked yourself up to a general manager of a company, you
yep.
certainly wouldn't go and start as the
Sales
guy that
associate.
cleaned out the closets again.
Yep.
You worked yourself up from that. Well, here at
Mhm.
Park Lane, they recognize that, and they interview us, and they hire us at titles and pay levels that are commensurate with what we had
Yep.
already earned.
Yep.
And they appreciate our experience, and they know that our experience makes them a better company.
Yep.
And I say that to all of you out there because they're known for that, and they can bring, if you've had experience, and so many of us feel like, oh, I don't know if I don't want to
Such
start all
talent.
over.
Yep.
Yeah,
Such
you don't
talent.
have to.
Yep.
However, if you are starting as a newbie, we also are the highest paid regardless. We start people at 30% commission, and I have learned that that's kind of unheard of, that other people had to raise their commissions because Park Lane was making it difficult on them. Mine was 25 at my other company. Um, the most I could ever make on my own sales was 32% at the highest level that I was at.
Yep.
Here at Park Lane, we go all the way up to 50%, which is where Janine and I are now. So it's amazing. And that's just part of it.
Yeah.
Whenever you're looking at a company, like when you said they've been around since 1955, that's wonderful and true. They've had growth every single year,
Yep.
sometimes double digit growth monthly, and they are debt free and cash rich.
Yes.
Now, we're thrilled with that because we get paid every week and we know we're going to get paid. We're not worried about that. But
Never.
also, they can throw so many more new things to us all the time. And when I said when you pick jewelry because it withstands the test of time, you want to make sure that your company is staying up to date and on trend. And Park Lane gets new jewelry really every single month. And how
Yep.
much more on trend can you be, right? It's right there with what's going on. But also when you think about how do we have so much beautiful jewelry? How do we do such a great job?
Yeah.
Well, the designers out there, the jewelry designers in the world, or chain houses, or the gem places, they want to do business with someone like us that can pay
Right.
cash. So we
Cash
get first
buyers.
dibs at a lot of stuff, and it gives us a lot of buying power, which in turn gives us a lot of selling power. So that's all really good business like stuff that I wouldn't have known to look at when I first started into direct sales all those years ago. You look at Park Lane's programs. Okay, to me, it all starts with the customer sale. It,
Yeah.
it starts with our amazing customer sale. When we can say to every customer, you get 2 items for regular price, four for half. When you spend 90, you get a $35 item. First, I'm so fun. Every time I say it, there's a gasp in the audience or someone that says, "Oh, I'm in trouble," right? Like always, and people that already knew are going, "Did I tell you? It's
Yeah.
great. It's great." I love that. Well, that's part of it, you guys. It's really easy to repeat that sale. And girls kind of have it in our DNA that we feel the need to make sure people know about a sale,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So, again, just like the jewelry's walking around in the world, our customer sale is going word of mouth all over the place all the time, which is so
Right.
advantageous to us. Now, something that you may not have thought of is our customers are absolutely thrilled with the value that they get. The average customer is leaving with 4 or 5 pieces, six
Yeah.
pieces, not one, right?
Yeah.
And that's that much jewelry, more jewelry for them to work out in the wear out in the world, and for people to come back to us over
Right.
the compliments. But also, it also assures that our average order is generally over $100. So a customer spending 100 but feeling like she got really $500 worth of jewelry, we're thrilled because the average order is $100 and we get paid on commission.
Yeah.
So, I mean, think about that. Like, if Park Lane sold $5 jewelry, I might think, oh, I can sell it to everyone. Everyone can afford $5. But like, how much commission could that possibly be? And how many
Yeah.
people would you have to sell to, right? And how many replacements that you won't do? And we also have like just an amazing, amazing program for replacing lost, I mean, anything that ever goes wrong, which is less than 1%.
Yeah.
But we
Unconditional
have an
guarantee. Yeah.
unconditional guarantee.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it starts with that sale. And then the hostess program where we share.
Same.
Park Lane is so incredibly generous to our hostesses. They end up really on the average $500,
Oh,
$1,000 free
yeah.
and
Easily.
discounted jewelry. Crazy, crazy. And again, they're happy. They tell people they're happy. Everyone saw how happy, blah, blah, blah. So it's all wonderful. And then as a result, because of the percentages we pay and because of the average order size and because of the average party size, we are the highest paid direct sales rep in the industry. So it's kind of a no-brainer to me. I just think it's an amazing, amazing place to be. And I just feel so lucky that I'm here. And people that have never done direct sales at all, when they start here and then they hear about what other companies do, they're like, "Are you kidding me?"
Mhm. Well,
They don't
because
even
we
know that they chose the best,
Yeah, because
so
we have a saying. Well, first of all, you mentioned in the beginning when you were talking about how, we have the direct appoint program. And, I don't know the percentage of your organization leadership wise was direct appoint, but I would say it's over 90, where we all came in from other organizations. And we didn't come in here willy nilly. We all had years. I had 23 years with my other company. I wasn't going to just jump ship because Park Lane came a calling, but they recognize and honor the experience that we have within the
yes.
industry. So, on top of it all, they are out recruiting people because they want the best of the best here.
Oh my gosh. Well, imagine you have some of the best people from Pampered Chef, some of the best people from Longenberger, some of the best people from Party Light, some of the best people from Sopata, Premier, Stella here. And everybody's sharing
And they
what they
are.
learned and what they do. Yeah. And
Yes.
my core leader team, like my executive leader team, there are
Is
people
there
that have worked themselves all the way up pretty quickly, but there is a lot of experience here and a
It's
lot
funny
for
you
people
should
to
mention
learn.
that because we got a question from Lynn Marinello who said, "How quickly can you progress in this
Oh
company?"
my gosh, quickly. Like Melissa Alaric, less than a year,
Yeah,
all the
fast.
way up to your level, right?
Fast.
Yeah,
Fast.
and just able
Fast.
to quit a full-time job, able to like it. The possibilities are unbelievable. But most of us start just to do it as like a little side thing.
Yeah.
And then there's all of the extras. And I started saying this last week. I don't know why I didn't think to say it sooner. But it's like everybody put in the comments, what's something that you save up your money to do?
Hmm.
What's something like we all have our monthly expenses, right? That keep us in our homes or whatever.
Yeah, like
But
people
what is
save for
something that you maybe
vacations
save
or
your
yeah.
money up for?
Hmm.
And what I love about this industry, especially our company, is anything that you would save your money up for something special, that is also something that you can earn here for free.
I love
So
that.
Paul was the one that was always like, it's like a double, it's like, okay, we didn't have to save up to go on vacation. You earned a vacation and you got paid as you earned it. So we get to keep all the money you earned, and we don't have to spend it on a vacation. We get a vacation. So we can take that money and do other ridiculous things with it, right? So we have two trips a year that we can work for and earn. Jewelry, if you're spending money on jewelry right now, you guys, which I hope you are, but if you're spending money on jewelry with Park Lane right now, you should become a rep, because imagine if you would get 30 to 50% back every week
Oh my
on
goodness,
whatever
yeah.
you even bought for yourself, right?
Hmm.
That's the
Hmm.
friends and
Yeah,
family discount. Free jewelry every single month that we can earn up to over $1,000 in free jewelry, $12,000 worth of jewelry a year that we can just earn from doing our job. And not
yeah,
even, yeah, not even super women, just like levels where it's basic stuff, it's like
right.
the part-timer can do it, right? So trips, that car payments. Okay, so like we have the
It's
ability to
true.
earn a car payment. So it's $500 a month if we have a car that we're perfectly happy with. And if we go get a white Mercedes, they'll give us 700 just so we can like start a fleet. So they're
It's
any of the
true.
advantages that you could think of. If we went around a circle and said, what would you think would be a quality of the perfect job? Everything you guys said, we would be able to say, we have that, we do that, we have
I
that.
can answer that coming from direct sales and the amount of years that I've been doing it. And I know you would answer it the same exact way. No quotas, no minimums.
Oh, how did I not say that? Here
I'm
at
just
Park
saying
Lane, we
that's
have
the
no
answer I would
quotas.
give. I'd be like, what are the quotas? What are the minimums? Because that kills you.
Yeah, we don't have any of that at Park Lane.
Nope.
None. They are not having it, is the way that we say it. They're like, no, we're not going to lead with fear and intimidation.
Mhm.
Most people pick up a little gig like this or a side gig
Right.
because they want something that's fun and they want something that's going to bring in some extra money. They certainly don't want all of the stress and responsibility and quotas and whips that we have in our other aspects of our life. So yeah, you can do it as little or as much as you want. I'm an executive company vice president. Janine said that earlier. I'm saying that again first because you'll be so impressed. No, really, because I could step away for months, years. I could come back and I would still be an executive company
That's
vice
correct.
president, eligible for the pay that I was making when I left. Same programs. That's unheard of. And I love
Yes.
it.
And we're talking no quotas, no minimums for stylists that come in. I just want to make that clear because I do get that question sometimes. Like, you're a leader, you don't have any. I'm like, oh, we have very small minimums to meet
Oh,
to
for
get
the
money off of
team,
our teams.
yeah.
But the team minimums are so small. You know what I mean? Not compared to what we came from. Oh, good
Yeah.
God, not even close. So
No.
yes, I'm so excited that you went over that. I love that. So tell me, we have a whole bunch of people watching, and I'm sure they're chomping at the bit now because now they're interested. So I'd like to know, why is now a great time? Why is February 1st or February 2nd? That's today. Why is February 2nd the right time?
There's different kit options, but the one that we recommend for everybody truly is the basic kit, which is
Right.
$129. And when you decide to get the basic kit, you get to pick your own jewelry. And right now, well, you do whichever kit you get, but this is the best value. And you get to pick right now $700.
Yeah, it's insane.
Like my
It's
daughter in
insane.
law just joined. And when I told her that, she goes, wait, what? Whatever I want? And I said, yeah. She goes, this is crazy. And she's my daughter-in-law,
Yeah.
but I mean, she's been with
Yeah.
me for a while, but $700 worth of jewelry, that in itself is enough to join, right?
Oh yeah.
But what you do is you have a show, and there's so many different ways to have a show. Whoever invited you will help you. You could do Zoom, you can do Facebook, you can do a messenger party, you can do in person, whatever you want to do. And when you have that show, you don't even really have to worry about your jewelry yet, because the person who signed you up will have all their jewelry to do the show,
Right.
but you're still the one who gets paid. And I kind of call it like on the job training, because you'll be watching differently than you were when you were just a customer. But it's
Right.
basically a way for you to learn how to do it. But it's your show, it's your guests, and you get the paycheck. And you also get all of the hostess benefit, which is more jewelry. So we want you to have like a really
Crazy.
amazing, successful start. We just dropped our new line a few weeks ago, and a spring thing will come before you know it, and we get new jewelry every single month. And just whenever you're having a change in seasons, like from the whole Christmas season to now, new year, new stuff, going into Valentine's Day, it's a perfect time to start.
Yeah.
And that $129 is a tax write-off, which is how I started this call. And I want you to realize that you get the bennies just like that. Mm-hmm.
I like that you circled back to that. Good job. That's awesome. I can't imagine anybody saying no. I really can't. But I always like to kind of impress upon everybody that, the best thing you can do is just contact the stylist that invited you here and just say yes to hosting. Just start there. Just do the show and take the time to really look to watch what he or she is doing. See if
Yes.
it's something that you think would fit into your daily life, something you could weave in and out throughout the month. Because if it is, you can say yes and you can seriously make money right away, pay that kid off right away, have extra, and have a boatload of jewelry to get started and share with your friends and family. And if you
Yeah.
are already wearing it and saying, oh, this is the galaxy necklace, don't you love it? If you're already doing that at work or to your family and friends, why not make money off of the ones that you
Right.
sell?
Yeah, you have your
Doesn't
phone.
make any
Someone says, I
sense.
love your necklace. You say, here's my website. I mean, why not? Right?
Why
Yeah.
not?
I know.
I did drop the Google form in the comments. Mary
Mhm.
Grace, they need to fill that Google form out, right? They need to fill it out
They
in
need to
its
fill it out
entirety.
completely. Don't forget your address in case you win, because we can't, it's hard to go looking for you.
We
And
need the
then,
address.
yes, we need the address. And you do want to, and believe me, we're not stalkers.
No, nobody's gonna
Janine
contact
started
you.
this by saying, it's kind of like, sometimes people feel like if they think of it as direct sales or multi-level, oh, is those one of those things where you try to get people to sell?
Yeah,
Well,
no.
no, I'm not going to beg anyone to come and make hundreds of thousands of dollars with me. It's a compliment. We get to choose who we work with. So you really should feel very complimented that you were invited to this call because someone sees something in
Right.
you, which is amazing. But there's also a part where you put like what your favorite look of jewelry is, and I try to curate a package to that. I think everybody's been pretty happy with what they got. I like doing it. So be sure to fill them out completely.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us tonight. We will be back here next Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Central. And we just appreciate all of you coming on today.
Yes,
When we hang up from this live stream, please contact your stylist and book your party
yes.
today.
They'll be
All
so
right.
happy. And you'll help them win a trip. Okay. Bye,
Have a great
everybody.
night, everyone. Take care.